Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with a video on a rook move like a knife stab. It's also number 7 in the series The Rook Rules. I have quite a rook move for you today. It was played on the 29th of May 2005 in the Chicago Open in the 4th round. A game between two grandmasters. White was Anatoly Line, a senior grandmaster at the time this game was played. He was 74 years old. He was originally from the Soviet Union but moved to the USA. Black was Viktor Michalewski, who was born and raised in Belarus but then moved to Israel like Boris Gelfand did. Let's see what happens in this game. Line opened with knight f3, knight f6 from Michalewski, b3, d6. Let's put those opening moves on the board. Both players develop their pieces. Black plays a King's Indian setup, as you can see, and White just puts his pieces into play. c4 and e5, and here d takes e5 is an option, castling is an option, played before by grandmasters, but knight c3 was Line's choice. Here rook e8 is the main move, but e takes d4 is also an option that has been played before. And now you can take with a pawn, or you can take with a knight. Line took with a knight, knight c5, and castling on the 10th move. White has played the opening very solidly, not playing for an opening advantage, but just developing his pieces to logical squares. c6, and the queen goes to c2, connecting the rooks. h5, rook centralized, queen e7, and the other rook goes to e1. That is White's last developing move. Now he will have to come up with a plan. All his pieces are ideally placed now. The position is equal. Bishop d7, and White came up with b4, kicking the knight. And after the knight dropped back, he decided to kick the knight again. The knight returned, and b takes c6. Michalewski took with the pawn, putting another pawn in the center, and bishop a3. Here rook a b8 seems a logical move. That's also what the engine thinks, but Michalewski played the more mysterious rook a to c8, giving his c6 pawn an extra protection maybe. Bishop f1, rook fe8, and now the engine likes f3 or e4 straight away, but queen c1 was played and the engine does not like that move very much. Not clear what Line was going for here. Michalewski changed his mind and played his rook back to b8 on the open file after all. Knight b3, and here Black can take on b3, a takes b3, but you cannot win a pawn because then there is bishop takes d6 and White has a better position. Michalewski took not on b3 at all. He played knight g4 instead, and now the fireworks will start. What White should have done here is bishop takes c5, getting that knight off the board, d takes c5, and then kick the knight with h3. But after knight g4 he played h3 straight away, and that move deserves 2 question marks. There are different ways for Black now to get an advantage. Knight takes f2 is very spectacular, is very good, but he played bishop takes c3, and that's also very strong. If you take the bishop, then you get knight takes f2 again, and don't think you can take that knight because there is knight e4 check, with a knight fork winning the queen. So after bishop takes c3, Line did not take on c3, he took on c5 instead, getting that knight off the board that we just saw give that fork. But it means that Black will win an exchange. Bishop takes e1 was played by Michalewski. And if you take that bishop, then there is d takes c5, and White can take the knight, and then bishop takes, and Black has an extra exchange and is winning, but the game goes on. But after bishop takes e1, Line did not take the bishop, he took the knight, and that's another move with a double question mark. But we're grateful that he played it, because now we see this amazing rook shot, this rook move like a knife stab from b8 all the way to b1, right in the heart of White's position. What a shot. just giving up that rook on b1. And the motif is deflection. It's deflecting the white queen, as we'll see. Black could also have taken on g4. That would have been perfectly fine. Then rook takes e1 and d takes c5. Black has a good position, an extra exchange, and should win. He also has 200 rating points more than his opponent. At 74 years of age, Anatoly Line had a rating of 2373. Michalewski was 32 years old, was in the strength of his life, and had a rating of 2572. But back to the move that was played, rook b1. What a shot. You have to be sure, because there was a good alternative, playing a position with an exchange up, but Michalewski had seen all the variations. Let's have a look. What happens if we just take that rook? What is the point? If you want, you can put the video on pause here and see what the refutation is of grabbing that rook. It is bishop takes f2 check. Very nice move. Because if you take the bishop, it is checkmate with queen takes e3. And if you do not take the bishop but flee with your king to h2 or to h1, then there is another checkmate, queen h4. Beautiful checkmate with queen and bishop. Okay, so after rook b1 we cannot take that rook. What if we play queen c2, getting the queen out of the attack by the rook and keeping an eye on the f2 square? What can black do then? Well, the same motif, deflecting the white queen, applies here as well. Rook takes d1 is the move, and that is a full rook, so you have to take back, but now the queen is on the bad square again, and bishop takes f2 check does the job again. King takes and queen takes e3, the same checkmates as we just saw. There really is nothing else after rook b1, so the variations were not very difficult, but finding that move is quite amazing. Viktor Michalewski found it and won a spectacular game. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you're enjoying our game, Rick against the Chess to Impress viewers. It is your move, we are on move 13. I played bishop g5, you kicked my bishop back, rook e8. You took on d5 and I took back with the c-pawn, and it is your move. What would you play in this position? You can take part in this game by putting your move, your 13th move with black, in the comment section underneath this video. And by doing so, you will be in the raffle. At the end of the game, I will raffle a chess book made available by my sponsor, The Beste Zet, a web shop for chess books. So please let me know what you will play in this position with black. I hope you will take part in our game. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel, and please leave a comment. I will read them all and I will reply to them all. If you liked the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter and on Facebook. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.